Collins is with me now on GRC. Andy, give us your title.
I am the manager of Dungeons & Dragons Design and Development, D&D, D&D.
D&D, D&D.
Right.
And you're also DM.
I am also a Dungeon Master par excellence, or at least I have led myself to believe.
And so today at D&D Game Day, with everybody still going on here, they're just wrapping up, you DM'd how many games?
I ran 3 groups against an enormous white dragon.
Really? So
yes.
How did those groups do?
They were all victorious, but I did manage to take a few of them with me.
Really? So
Yes.
which group did you kill the most of?
Well, I think I killed a cleric once or twice in the same fight. The last group had a couple of characters down but not out, so I kept it exciting.
Yeah. So what was people's reactions to their first real taste of 4th edition?
Everyone had a blast.
Yeah.
Folks were enjoying their characters. I had people at my table, some of whom had played 4th edition several times already, others who were brand new to D&D, learning the whole game for the first time, and everybody was enjoying themselves.
No, that's very cool. Now, GRC, you know, we're coming up on Sweeps Week here, and if they cut my budget anymore, I'm going to have to write them a check with every episode I do. So I'm trying to increase the hits.
All right.
So what kind of spoiled information can you give? Kind of inside stuff that people will tune in to watch this, and otherwise I'm going to do telethons, and I don't think you want to see me up there singing and dancing.
Well, let's see. I could go on and on about the secret codes that are in each book, that if you can decipher, they'll lead you to special locations where you can get previews of the material, but I'd be lying.
I see. All right. I'm not above lying. But
All right, well, then in that case, if you take the first letter of every 17th word in the Monster Manual, well, let's just say you're going to get a very interesting message.
Nice. So what do we have coming down the pike?
Coming up on the immediate future, probably the biggest new thing we've got after this is the Forgotten Realms.
Right.
The new Forgotten Realms is coming out this summer. We've got a campaign guide for the Dungeon Master that gives him the big outlines of what's going on in this new Forgotten Realms. We're moving the timeline forward 100 years to be able to tell some brand new stories, let everybody get in on the ground floor of Forgotten Realms, rediscovering it, learning it again for the first time. So that's coming out this summer, followed by a player's guide that'll help the players keep up with the Dungeon Master's secret information.
Right.
Later on this fall, we've got a mix of mechanics-heavy books and books that are a little more story-oriented for the DM and players. The Draconomicon returned to one of the favorite old titles. That's coming out later this fall. We've got Adventurer's Vault, which is chock full of new equipment and magic items for characters. And for all those people out there playing fighters, rangers, rogues, and warlords, they'll be excited to know they're going to have about twice as many options available to them when Martial Power comes out.
Nice, nice.
So it's a nice array of things. We're trying to hit something for a wide array of different sorts of players and DMs.
So James Wyatt was on GRZ and he talked about the Player's Handbook too, and he gave us the first letter of some of the races that are going to be added there. So I was wondering if I could talk to one of my really good friends in R&D who could maybe tell our loyal listeners maybe the second letter on a couple of these classes.
O. Classes or races?
I'm sorry, the races.
Races? Yeah, O.
Well, you can even the first and then the second.
That's not what you asked for.
Okay, there were 2 G's.
E.
There were 2 G's.
Yeah, they're definitely.
Yeah.
But not right together.
Okay.
Because I don't know how that would be pronounced.
All right.
Yeah, one of those is followed by an N, I think.
Okay. So there's a GN.
It could be, yeah.
It could be a GO.
The memory's going. I'm getting a little old.
But there's an E as a second letter for one of them?
Yeah, somebody's got an E in there. I think there's an H maybe as a second letter. And one of them definitely ends in an R.
One of them definitely ends in an R, huh? Okay, all right. You realize there will be hundreds of threads now of people trying to decipher this
I
stuff.
assume so, yes. And your additional Hangman guesses are only $5 a piece. You can send those checks to the Care of Wizards of the Coast.
This should just be the Hangman show, where we just play D&D Hangman all the time. What's the classes? What are the races? What, maybe that's what I got to do to get the hits, right? All right. So, any last words for the community? I mean, we finally got here after how many years of development?
3 years of design and development have gone into these books. We're extremely excited that folks can finally now crack them open and get to playing D&D, because that's really what this is all about, right? We've heard the hype, we've seen the previews, we've listened to people talk about the games, but now it's time to sit down and play. Time to roll some dice, slay some dragons. And that is where the proof's going to be. I believe that folks out there are going to have a blast playing this game. But really all I can say to anybody out there, whether you're excited, whether you're a little dubious, whether you're a little scared, start playing. Give it a try.
Right. And judge it yourself.
Exactly.
And make what the decision, right?
And have fun.
Yeah.
That's what it's all about.
Andy Collins with a title that's too long, D&D, D&D.
Yes.
Thanks for coming on Gamer Radio Zero.
Thank you, Mike.